Hi and welcome. My name's Esther, you're on my channel, Stampin' Star Creations. I'm afraid I have to hold on to my phone because I'm going to be doing a room tour. Now, when I hit 3,000 subscribers, and thank you to those who have subscribed already, if you're not one of them, you might want to join the subscriber club. I did say to myself, I'm going to do a room tour. That's what I'm going to do. When I reach 3,000, I'm going to do a room tour. And I said to myself, do you know what, I'm just going to do an honest room tour. I'm going to show everybody what it's like as it is, as it comes, because I've seen room tours and there are a lot of tidy people out there. There are a lot of people that tidy away after they craft and everything goes away in its neat house and, oh, it's also tidy. So I'm coming on because I was just about to reorganise, but I've decided before I reorganise, I'm going to do my room tour because I'm going to show you how it is, what it's like on the other side of the camera with Stampin' Star Creations. And also I want it as a record. I want it for a record to see how things develop and change. Now, warning, if you are a bit of a control freak, a bit of a mess, what's the word? If you don't like mess, then you switch off now, go and watch something else. You do not want to see this. It gives you some things I will not be changing in here, but there are some things that I want to change around. So before I do, I'm going to record this video as a record for me and for you before I change it, okay? So welcome everybody, it's lovely to have your company. Hi to Tina, Janice, Anna, Jenny, Christine, Hilda and Laurie. Okay, so some of you have seen my room before, some of you haven't. It gives you, the trouble with this also is when I turn the camera you get to see it. No, you already see a back to front view of things. So I'm going to turn the camera so you'll get like a sense of my room and my space. And yeah, I'm going to get on with it now. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to come back to the door. So this door behind me comes in from the kitchen and it's an extension from our house. So I'm going to turn you around, okay? So as you come in my door, this is what you see, all right? And that is my desk after. I have a window to the garden. We have a downstairs toilet, which is great because I can use a sink, and this leads on to some utility space. So I'm going to start left and pan around, I think. So to my left, I have a shelf. On the shelf, I have bits and bobs that I've made. That's my tiara that Ruth at Artful Stamping made for my wedding. You might recognise a vellum shade up there that I did on one of my videos. I'm not going to spend ages and ages going over things. My downline made that for me, so that stays there. Bits and bobs that I've made or people have given to me. And my Lion King. Okay, I love this quote. Found it in the charity shop. Some days you just have to create your own sunshine. Isn't that true? Some days you just gotta make your own sunshine. Anna says, you have windows, I'm jealous. So this normally comes back to front in my Facebook Lives. I got that from the charity shop as well. It did have a H and an O and an M, but I could buy that one individually. So somebody's got a HOM and I've got an E. Stuff on there because I have. I've been selling on eBay, so I've got stuff to go onto eBay. That's got catalogues in it, something for my downline. This is eBay stuff, and that's what I made yesterday to go out to my new downline. Customer orders. I recently got these boxes, painted them up, and they've been great for storage. If you hear this on my lives, this is where I keep all my coloured cards, and I store them in these plastic wallets, and they are fantastic for storage. They're those popper wallets, and I have a little card at the front which has got the name, the code and a sample of the card, and these are the ones that I need to be tidying away, which I've not done. I've got the advantage of having a 5x5 IKEA Kallax unit. Yes, I got stuff even at the top. So in this unit, this holds stuff like postage, glue, ribbon, punches, other craft bits and pieces. You're not going to rifle through my drawers today. This box here is just for postage, bits and bobs. I'm working on a card kit, so yes, the floor is a mess at the moment. And then this is where I store my stamps at the moment. This is what I was starting to move, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to show you as is. The box has fallen down by new bits in it. Another reason, good reason to sort. And this is what my table looks like. I have been tidying up a little bit, but after I do a live or a YouTube, this is it. This is reality, you know. Things come out, things need putting away. So I try and sort so that I've just cleaned my stamps and my blocks. My blocks have gone in a basket, ready to go back on my block storage, which I use there, into areas so it's easier to put away. You might notice I haven't changed the date on my calendar. That happens quite often. And there's that ticking clock that you sometimes hear in the background. So then to the let me just come back a bit, because there's some people want to know about how I record things and lighting and things like that. So I now have 3 lights. I've got my lamp, a daylight, and this overhead light, and I do need all 3. It's amazing that you do need, you know, good lighting when you're doing your recording. I have this is great. I picked this up from our a TK Maxx. I only had one there. And I keep all my bits and pieces. I try not to overcrowd it. I know you might laugh, but I try not to overcrowd it and just have things that I need. Under my desk, I have storage. I've got keep envelopes, scraps, and then cards that I've recently made. And then more storage there for dimensionals, pencils, embossing, etc., etc. This has come all the way from Australia, a limited edition bin. I have 2 bins. Let me show you this one because it's special. It says, not just for waste paper. I thought it was quite fun because that paper isn't in there for chucking. That's slipped in there. So I have 2 bins. This is great for just chucking in little bits. And I have got a big bin over there. And then, like I showed you before, I have those. At the moment, I'm keeping my Christmas Stampathon cards in there. Inks, dies, and then in there, what is in there? Older dies and bits and bobs from before. Then I have my trusty trolley. Sometimes you'll see this in the background. This comes out usually with sorry, my finger's in the way, for workshops. I wheel it into the kitchen. It's great. I load it up and it's perfect for taking in the other room. Yes, my husband gifted me some Ferrero Rocher yesterday. The box fell on the floor with some rubbish. Like I said, this is a completely, you know, I'm not going to show you too much of the garden. So normally, again, windowsill would not be as cluttered. So just turning around, I made this star crochet blanket, which now sits on my, I swapped these around a little bit, but I've got one of these massage back things. I think it keeps slipping when I do my lives, that's why. Okay, then behind me you might see another chair in the background. Sometimes I think this is grey and yellow, which is perfect. So sometimes I swap that around. There's the desk. I get to sit and do all my bits and bobs. Again, you sometimes usually see this in the background. So on my wall, I've just put up my new certificate, and then I've got a year diary and calendar of events of the year. And then because I'm involved with different hops and video hops and challenges, they all go up there, which is great, so I can quickly just eyeball what's happening. So I used to take quite a lot of photos in my light box here, and then once I finish taking the photo, the cards end up in here. Sometimes I've now taking photographs outside, it's easier, or on my phone. Camera storage bits and pieces in there, bit of stationery, and this year I started using this file to store cards in for the year, which has been great. So I've labelled them all up to December, and I haven't written in them, but I have cards of people I send for birthdays to, and it's brilliant because I used to just make, when somebody's birthday was coming up, I used to make specifically for their birthday. When now, because I make so many cards, I just choose one which is suitable for them, and I'm organised for the year, and it's proved to be brilliant. So these are old wine boxes here. My husband used to work for a wine company, and so they're just really useful storage for bits and bobs. I have to have my curtain up because it gets in the way of my face when I sit on the computer. And there's my other colourful clock. So that is my room. This is my room tour. Very honest, like I said. And I am now going to change, I'm thinking, this shelf here. I'm going to try and maybe organise it so I've got my stamps and inks and things on there. I didn't want it to be that kind of shelf initially, but I'm going to see if it works for me better. Because I'm having to access and grab things like stamps and inks a lot more, I'm wondering if that will work out better for me. So, you know, there you go. It's how it is. My card shelf. Card shelf? Which card shelf? Ruth, have you come on late? I've showed the loo, yes. Or not showed the loo, you don't need to. I do have a nice toilet, actually. Do you want to see the loo? Actually, I have got a dingly dangly hanging up. Now, if I switch it on, the fan's going to go. I made a daisy chain, which is part of my hanging, and I have a bit of a bee theme going on in here. Do you want to... So I'm going to see if we can see how much we can see in the dark. My loo is so cute, she says. So I have this behind me. You might recognise that from Alive. I've got a little bee, a little hexagon thing going on there. And then if you sat on the loo, you'd be down there. I've got a sign that says fresh as a daisy. And then I have a honey pot collection of honey pots that I've managed to pick up secondhand, and some little bee. Oh, the bleach is on there. Shows that I clean, doesn't it? And some sea glass in there. So yeah, welcome to my loo, everyone. Who knew that this was going to be a loo craft room tour? So I've showed that shelf, Ruth. Showed everything. This I made a long time ago. I'm just going to show you my sign on my door. I was part of a blog hop years ago. It was a Christian blog hop called Salt. And it might still be out there. Ruth might be able to help me remember if it's on there. And the theme for that particular one was Believe. So I've had this a long time. Yeah, and it just stays on my door, which is nice. Thank you. Now I can change my room now. I'd started and then I stopped. So Salt is still there. So look up Salt at blogspot.com, I think. Blogspot.com. So thank you so much for joining me for this very ad hoc, very honest, very tell it as it is, a room tour. And I'm sorry if I've put to shame all those people that tidy away every single thing and are really neat and tidy. I like to say I am tidier than Ruth, but that shouldn't be a boast. It's just our natures, it's our personalities I put it down to. So I'm going to go and try and change my room around a little bit and not spend ages on it. But you know what it's like when you start, you end up being there longer than you intend. So I might have to do a post room tour when I tidy up. How about that? That'll give me the incentive. I haven't forgotten about your Q&A. I have asked you if there's any questions. And I will get around to it. This was one of the things I had to do, and the Q&A was another. So I will get around to doing the Q&A. It's tidy. People go, no, it's tidier than my room. It's tidier than my room. Sorry, I've got an itch on my arm. Oh, Ruth's put the link for the Salt Challenge group. Oh, it'd be nice to see all the bits and pieces. A very nice room. We all make a mess in our rooms. I think that's it. And it's quite nice just to go, do you know what? That is life. That's how we craft. I do tend to tidy up after I've done stuff. But when you're in the middle of projects, like I said, I've got a card kit on the go. So I've got all the bits on the floor for that. I've been working on some cards today. And it is what it is, as the saying goes. Hi, Debbie. Hi, all that's joined a bit later. And thank you for the thumbs up already. Very sweet of you. Lovely to see you all. I'm going to head off now and go and sort out my shelving and see if I can make some improvements. So I've got, oh, one more thing. Sorry, before I go. I did want to say that I think if you have the blessing of having your own craft space, which is fabulous to be able to have that. I think some people are able to start from scratch with their craft rooms. I mean, we moved here, 3.5 years ago, and I was able to start the room from scratch, but obviously I had things coming over from the old house. And I think the way things work for some of us is that you build on your craft storage. You don't have the advantage of starting out with designing your craft storage. So my shelf on my desk, I bought that. The metal unit down there, that was an addition. So I think when you're adding to your craft space, you don't always get to choose where it sits in your room because you don't have the right space for it. But saying that, I might start moving things around. But so sometimes you don't have the advantage of being able to buy all new IKEA things, and because you kind of add to your room, you've just got to figure out what works for you. I hope that makes sense. I hope that encourages you not to be too despondent if you have maybe a small craft space or don't have craft space or stuff like that. Hilda says, I've built for 17 years and have lots of stuff. I do try and get rid of stuff and not hold on to things too much. I have learnt that fairly recently because there's no need and there's no space. On that note, take care, everybody. Thank you so much. And I will catch up with you soon. I do have a video scheduled tonight of how I made a recent colour challenge card, so you can go and check it out at 8:30 tonight. Take care, lots of love. Bye for now.